Hello, I'm Adam Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support them. The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a rather gloomy Tuesday, which perfectly matches the mood of the news we need to discuss. We have some heavy updates from Genoa City to get into, and honestly, you might want to grab some tissues for this one. Let's just dive right into the drama, because there is a lot to unpack. So we have to talk about Nikki Newman. We really have to talk about what is happening with her, because the writers are taking her down a path that is just incredibly dark. And I mean that literally and figuratively. For weeks now, we have been watching Nikki suffer from these agonizing headaches, just clutching her head, wincing in pain, snapping at people, and Victoria has been practically begging her mother to see a doctor. Victor has been confronting her about it, even though they are separated and barely tolerating each other right now. But Nikki, in classic stubborn Nikki fashion, just kept brushing it off. She kept saying it was just her MS. She kept blaming the multiple sclerosis, because that is her default shield. It's what she knows. But we all knew it was something worse. The fans on social media have been screaming at the screen for weeks, telling her to go to the hospital. And finally, the truth is coming out. In the upcoming June 22 episode, the hammer finally drops. Nikki is going to sit down with her doctor to go over the results of an MRI. And it is not good, you guys. It is really not good. The doctor is going to point out a mass, a brain tumor, and not just any brain tumor, but one that is pressing directly on her optic nerve. So that explains everything. That explains the blinding headaches. That explains the blurry vision she's been having. It wasn't stress. It wasn't the MS. It was a literal tumor growing inside her head and crushing the nerve that allows her to see. Just thinking about it makes my stomach turn. It's horrifying. It is a terrifying diagnosis for anyone, but for Nikki Newman, a woman who relies so much on her strength, her image, her independence, this is going to shatter her world. And here is the absolute worst part, the catch. Two of it all. If she does nothing, the tumor will keep growing. The blurry vision will get worse and worse until she goes completely blind. Or worse, it could kill her. But if she opts for the surgery to remove the mass, the surgery itself is incredibly risky. The doctor actually admits that even with the surgery, she could still end up blind. So what kind of choice is that? What were they thinking, giving her this kind of impossible dilemma? It's like, hey, you can go blind slowly and maybe die, or you can go to sleep, have someone cut into your brain, and wake up blind tomorrow. It's just brutal. It is a brutal, agonizing choice to force a character to make. But she has to make it. So Nikki's going to do what Nikki does when she's backed into a corner. She's going to seek out a second opinion, or at least a trusted ear. She ends up talking to Nate Hastings about this massive dilemma. And honestly, this makes a lot of sense. I know Nate has been playing corporate shark over at Chancellor Winters lately, and he's dealing with all that messy Malcolm and Holden family drama, but people forget he was a world-class surgeon. He knows brains. He knows nerves. He knows the risks. And he cares about Nikki. So she is going to lay it all out for him. She's going to ask him the hard questions. Is this surgery really her only option? And Nate, being the straight shooter he can be when he's not scheming in a boardroom, is probably going to tell her the hard truth. She has to do it. She has to take the risk. If she has a chance of dying without it, she has to roll the dice on the surgery and pray for the best. And after that talk with Nate, she makes the call. She is going to go through with the incredibly risky surgery. She is going to put her life and her sight in the hands of the surgeons. But let's be real here. Who actually believes this is going to end well? Who actually thinks she's going to wake up, blink a few times, and see perfectly? This is a soap opera. The writers do not introduce a risk of blindness storyline unless they intend to make the character go blind. That is just soap 101. You don't put the gun on the mantle unless you're going to fire it. So I am fully predicting, and I think most of you guys are too, that when Nikki wakes up from that anesthesia, she is going to be in total darkness. Can you even imagine that scene? I can picture it so clearly in my head right now. It's going to be gut-wrenching. Melody Thomas Scott is going to act the absolute heck out of it. She's going to wake up, the room will be quiet, maybe Victor is sitting by her bed, and she's going to panic. She's going to ask why the lights are off. She's going to reach out and realize that the bandages are off, her eyes are open, but she can't see a single thing. It's going to be a nightmare. A living, breathing nightmare for her. And honestly, I'm not sure I'm ready to watch it. It's just so much trauma for one character. I mean, hasn't she been through enough? The alcoholism, the MS, the kidnappings, the constant Newman family chaos. Now she has to lose her sight? But you know what? This is going to be the major summer story. A summer of darkness for Nikki Newman. We are going to watch her struggle to adapt. We are going to watch her bump into furniture, break down in tears out of sheer frustration, and probably try to push everyone away. Because Nikki is proud. She is so fiercely proud. She is not going to want Victoria hovering over her. She's not going to want Nick, who is already a massive mess with his drug addiction and the Matt Clark hostage situation, to be worrying about her. She's going to want to suffer in silence, but she won't be able to. She will be completely dependent on the people around her, and she is going to hate every single second of it. And we have to talk about Victor. We have to talk about how this impacts the mustache. Because right now, Victor and Nikki are separated. They are barely on speaking terms. Victor has been busy orchestrating this massive, twisted revenge plot against Jack Abbott. He's got Diane locked up with some shady psychiatrist. He's offering Phyllis dirty deals. He's just being his absolute worst, most manipulative self. But this tumor, this is going to stop him dead in his tracks. You guys know how Victor gets when his sweetness is in danger. He drops everything. He becomes a completely different person. A protective, obsessive, hovering husband. Maybe I'm being too optimistic here. Maybe Victor won't change. But I think this tragedy is exactly what the writers are using to reunite them. It's the classic trope. The super couple is torn apart by petty squabbles and business lies, and then a life-threatening medical crisis forces them to realize what truly matters. Victor is going to sit by her hospital bed and swear he will fix this. He will probably try to buy the hospital. He will probably try to hire every specialist in the world to magically restore her sight. Because Victor Newman cannot handle a problem he cannot solve with money and intimidation. But he can't intimidate a severed optic nerve. He can't buy a new pair of eyes for her. He's going to feel completely powerless. And watching Victor Newman feel powerless is always fascinating television. But okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. The dynamic between them is going to shift entirely. He will want to take care of her, and she might resent him for it. Or she might lean on him because she has no other choice. It's going to be messy. It's going to be so messy. And let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger pattern here. Daytime soaps are famous for tackling these heavy, debilitating medical issues. But they are also famous for magically resolving them just when we think all hope is lost. So even though I am convinced Nikki is going to be blind for the summer, I do not believe for a second that it will be permanent. No way. They aren't going to leave the matriarch of the Newman family blind forever. By the time November sweeps roll around, you just know there is going to be some experimental soap opera treatment. Some magic laser surgery in Switzerland. Some groundbreaking stem cell procedure that hasn't even been invented in the real world yet. They will find a way to fix her. But the journey to get there? The months of her living in the dark, the emotional breakdowns, the strain on her family, that is where the drama is. That is what we are going to be tuning in for. Because as tired as I am of seeing my favorite characters suffer, I know that the performances are going to be incredible. The raw emotion of Nikki trying to navigate her own living room, the fear of never seeing her grandchildren's faces again, it's going to be powerful television. So yeah, the June 22 episode is going to change everything. The MRI results, the tumor, the optic nerve, the consultation with Nate, and the terrifying decision to go under the knife. Nikki is rolling the dice with her life and her sight. And we are all just going to have to sit back and watch the fallout. It's going to be a rough ride, you guys. A really rough ride. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think she's going to wake up blind? Do you think this will finally bring her and Victor back together? I just can't see this ending any other way than total heartbreak, at least for a little while. But we'll see. Or, I guess, Nikki won't. Oh wow, that was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling now. I'll see you guys in the next update.